It's prom season, it's graduation season, and I just posted my prom picture the other day, my graduation picture from high school. And of course, when I posted that, it started getting me to reflect on the past. You know, I think Throwback Thursday is a great day because sometimes it might make people reflect on the past. Well, posting that picture made me think about that time and how I was critical of myself. And looking at that picture, I was like, oh my gosh, I thought I needed to lose weight, but I was really, really fit. Perspectives change, right? And then fast forwarding to getting married right out of college, I realized recently that I wanted four things when I got married. So I got married because I was conditioned to get married. I was told, go to college, get a job, get married, have kids, you'll be happy. And that was my life plan, right? So I actually didn't really think about what I wanted until recently. Like, why did I get married? You know? And I realized that I got married because I wanted love, family, security, and belonging. At the time that I got married, I felt like I had missed some of those things in my childhood and in my previous relationships. And I just knew, I had no shadow of a doubt, none, I had no doubt at all, that I was going to get married and I was going to get these things in my relationship. It was just, that was like the promise that I would be happy, and happiness to me, even though I hadn't defined it as clearly as I have now, happiness to me was love, family, security, and belonging. But what I didn't know then is that growing up, a lot of us don't get our needs met. And so we don't even have the capacity to provide the kind of relationship skills and to share in a healthy relationship because we have gaps in our development mentally, emotionally. We have toxic patterns. We have unhealed hurts. We have wounds, in ourselves. And so when we come together with somebody, those things get played out. And rather than meeting needs, we're not meeting those needs. So going through my four things, right? I had gone to college, so I had heard Maslow's hierarchy of needs, but I didn't transfer that to my relationship. I didn't think about how that played out in my relationship until recently, because on the very bottom of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you have the physical needs like food, water, clothing, shelter, physical intimacy, and, just your physical needs being met. But right above that, the next level of needs, once your physical needs are met, is security. And that has to do with, your feeling of safety and your health, that you're in a healthy environment, and your social, that you're in a social environment, a family environment that provides you an environment of security. Well, right off the bat, that's a problem because my ex-husband, my first marriage, was abusive. It was not an environment of social safety where we could talk and I could be listened to and empathized with and heard and validated. Emotionally, it wasn't safe. And physically, it wasn't safe because there were times when he was physically abusive. But then also, social safety for me has to do with things like loyalty and fidelity. And he was a person that liked to flirt a lot with women, and he cheated in our relationship. So that was another way my security needs weren't met. And then he lost his job a lot. So, adding to the economic insecurity, the stress of me having to pick up the slack every 6 months when his anger issues would boil over at work, and then, he's gotten fired or possibly arrested. And so security is completely knocked out of that relationship. That whole huge, tier of needs for me isn't met. Now, I'm not bringing this up because of my ex, because that relationship is over and done with, has been done with since 1999. But I realized that in me sharing this, there might be somebody saying, okay, let me look at, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Let me look at what I need from a relationship and how this relationship I'm in or this relationship I'm thinking about going in kind of measures up. And what do I need to do to fix it or, to deal with the problems in it, to confront the problems in it if there are problems. So security thing, which was one of my 4 biggest reasons for being in a relationship, that's completely out the door. All right. And then the next level is belonging, a sense of connection. So that was, again, my next thing. Well, it's hard to feel connected. I'm not even going to say hard. It's impossible to meet that need when the one below it hasn't been met. So that's just completely, we were stumped at the security level. And because all of that was in shambles, it couldn't go any higher. Now, having looked at relationships for many, many years now and read a lot of books, recently I came across a video that was talking about Bell Hooks and Scott Peck, who wrote The Road Less Traveled. And they were defining love, cathexis, and care. And care would be the lowest one in a sense, or maybe equal with cathexis, depending on how you see it. But care is meeting someone's physical needs, that lowest level of Maslow's hierarchy. But care can be present with neglect and abuse, because you could feed somebody, you could put clothes on their back, a roof over their head, give them water, and still physically, emotionally, sexually abuse them or neglect them in other ways. So care is just the lowest level. And it's not love. And cathexis is when you have these intense feelings for someone. You are excited to see them. You want to get close to them. You have all this romance and passion. But it's really a lot about what that person does for you and how they make you feel. So a lot of rom-coms and a lot of fairy tales and a lot of, romantic books are all about cathexis. I feel alive when I'm with this person. They make my heart skip a beat. I feel butterflies in my stomach. They make me feel so beautiful. They make me feel so needed and so, sexy and so, all this stuff, right? But going all the way up the hierarchy, Maslow's hierarchy,